Ever notice how your brain is like a critic that never clocks out? You could be doing something great, and out of nowhere it hits you with, you're not ready, you're not smart enough, you're going to mess this up. That's self-doubt. And the thing you need to understand right now is it's not proof that you're broken, it's proof that you're human. Every single person you admire has that same voice. The difference is they don't let it run the show. Self-doubt is sneaky. It doesn't kick the door down and yell in your face. No, it creeps in quietly. It disguises itself as being realistic or thinking it through. But what it's really doing, it's keeping you in the exact same place you've been for years. And here's the truth. If you don't call it out, it will build a prison in your mind, lock you inside, and hand you the key while you sit there thinking the door's stuck. And I get it. Sometimes it feels like self-doubt is protecting you. You tell yourself it's there to keep you from making mistakes or looking stupid, but that's a lie. Self-doubt isn't your bodyguard, it's a thief. It steals opportunities before you even take the first step. It convinces you to shrink, to stay quiet, to pass on the things you actually want. The wild part, self-doubt isn't based on truth, it's based on fear. And fear loves to exaggerate. That presentation you're scared to give, your brain is already writing the worst case scenario like it's some Netflix drama. But here's what Mel Robbins would tell you. Your brain can't tell the difference between the fear of something going wrong and the excitement of something going right. It's the same feeling. You just have to decide which story you're going to attach to it. So the next time that voice pipes up, I want you to pause and say this to yourself. Thank you for trying to keep me safe, but I've got this. Because here's the deal. You're not here to live in the waiting room of your own life. You're here to get in the game, even if your knees are shaking. Here's the thing about self-doubt. It feeds on silence. The more you keep your fears in your head, the bigger they grow. Think of it like a shadow in your room at night. It looks terrifying when the lights are off, but the second you flip the switch, you see it's just a pile of clothes on a chair. That's exactly how fear works. When you speak it out loud, you strip it of its power. Most of us make the mistake of waiting until we feel ready before we act. And let me tell you something that's going to change your life. Feeling ready is a myth. You're never going to wake up one morning with a neon sign above your head saying today is the perfect day to start. If you're waiting for that, you'll be waiting forever. People who succeed don't feel ready. They act before they feel ready. That's the only way you build confidence. Action first, confidence second. When that voice in your head says you can't do this, you need to respond with action. Not a 10-step plan, not waiting for the stars to align. Just one small move in the direction you want to go. Because here's the truth. Self-doubt thrives in hesitation. Every second you sit there overthinking, you're giving it more oxygen. The faster you move, the less time you give it to talk you out of it. And let's be real, your brain is wired to keep you comfortable, not to make you great. It will whisper every excuse in the book to keep you exactly where you are. You don't have enough experience. You might fail. People will judge you. And you know what? Some of that might even be true. You might fail. People might judge you. But here's the question. Are you going to let that stop you from living a life you're proud of? Because regret hurts a lot more than failure ever will. Think about the last time you did something that scared you. Maybe speaking up in a meeting, sending that risky email, or putting yourself out there. Remember how your stomach flipped, your heart raced. That's not a sign to stop. That's your body gearing up for action. The mistake most people make is misinterpreting those feelings as danger. But what I would tell you is simple. Fear and excitement feel exactly the same in your body. The only difference is the story you attach to it. Change the story, and you change your life. You've got to stop waiting for the fear to go away before you move. That's not how it works. You move, and the fear shrinks. You take the leap, and your courage grows. You speak, and your voice gets stronger. You start, and you become the kind of person who keeps going. And let's not sugarcoat it. It will be uncomfortable. Growth always is. But uncomfortable is where the magic happens. You don't get stronger by staying in the shallow end of the pool. You get stronger by swimming into deeper water and trusting you'll figure it out. So here's your challenge. The next time self-doubt tries to stop you, don't wait. Don't argue with it. Don't give it time to build its case. Just take one bold, small, undeniable action that proves you're in charge, not the voice in your head. Because the truth is, you're capable of more than you think. You just have to start showing yourself. Let me tell you something you probably don't want to hear. Nobody is coming to save you. Not your friends, not your boss, not the universe magically handing you a break. It's not because people don't care. It's because your life is your responsibility. And the faster you stop waiting for someone to give you permission, the faster everything changes. We waste so much time hoping someone will notice our potential, hand us the opportunity, or push us toward the thing we keep putting off. But here's the truth. Life doesn't work like that. Opportunity doesn't knock politely. You've got to go out and find it, grab it, and sometimes even kick the door down to get it. You want that new job? Stop waiting for a recruiter to call. Send the email. Make the pitch. You want better relationships? Stop waiting for someone else to change. Be the one who starts the conversation, sets the tone, or walks away if it's toxic. And here's the kicker. Every single time you wait, you're reinforcing the habit of staying small. You're training your brain to believe you're not in control. That's why one of the most important shifts you can make is to stop thinking in terms of I hope and start thinking in terms of I decide. When you decide, you move differently. You show up differently. You stop asking for permission and start making it happen. I know it's scary. I know the thought of putting yourself out there makes your stomach churn. You're worried about failing, about looking stupid, about people talking behind your back. Guess what? They might. But the truth is, most people are too busy worrying about themselves to spend much time thinking about you. And the ones who do criticize, they're usually not doing anything brave themselves. You can't take advice from people who aren't even in the arena. The only way you figure out what you're capable of is by taking action before you feel ready. And here's the wild thing. When you do, you realize you've been holding the keys to your own progress this whole time. That promotion, it's not luck. It's showing up every day and doing the work no one else wants to do. That confidence, it's not something you're born with. It's built from every moment you showed up scared and did it anyway. You need to stop looking at the big picture, like it's this impossible mountain, and start looking at the next step right in front of you. Because when you focus on the next step, you take it, and then you take another. And before you know it, you're halfway up the mountain you thought you couldn't climb. So let me make this crystal clear. Stop waiting. Stop telling yourself you'll start when things calm down, when you have more time, when you have more money, when the timing is perfect. That's just fear dressed up as logic. If you want something, start with what you've got, where you are, right now. You don't need a map for the whole journey. You just need enough courage to take the first step. And here's the best part. Once you do, you start to see doors you didn't even know existed. You start attracting opportunities that never would have shown up if you'd stayed still. It's not about being fearless. It's about acting while you're still scared. Because courage isn't a feeling, it's a choice. And every time you choose it, you're building a version of yourself you'll be proud to live with. You've got to understand something. Your environment is either feeding your growth or slowly starving it. And I'm not just talking about the people around you. I'm talking about the places you spend your time, the conversations you entertain, the habits you repeat without even thinking. Every single thing you allow into your world is either pulling you forward or keeping you stuck exactly where you are. Think about it. If you spend your days surrounded by people who complain, who make excuses, who see every problem but never look for a solution, that mindset starts rubbing off on you. You absorb it. You start thinking smaller. You start second guessing yourself. And before you know it, your goals feel impossible, not because they are, but because you're marinating in an environment that kills possibility. This is why you've got to be ruthless about protecting your space. Not mean, not cold, just clear about who and what gets access to you. If someone constantly drains your energy, limit your time with them. If a certain place always leaves you feeling worse than when you got there, stop going. If a habit keeps pulling you away from your goals, break it before it breaks you. And I know what you're thinking, but what if I can't cut these people out completely? What if it's family? What if it's coworkers? That's real life, and I get it. You don't always have the option to just walk away, but you always have the option to control your reaction. You can choose not to engage in the negativity. You can choose to redirect the conversation. You can choose to mentally put up a boundary that says, "This is not my energy, and I'm not taking it on." You've also got to start putting yourself in environments that stretch you. You want to get in shape, spend time with people who value health. You want to build a business. Hang around entrepreneurs who are already doing it. You want to become more confident. Seek out rooms where people are going after their dreams and speaking their truth. Being in the right environment doesn't just inspire you, it challenges you to rise to the level of the room you're in. This isn't about being better than anyone else. It's about making choices that align with the person you want to become. And here's the thing, nobody tells you, when you start protecting your environment, some people won't like it. They'll call you distant. They'll say you've changed. And they'll be right, you have changed. But that's the point. You're not here to keep everyone comfortable. You're here to grow. Every time you remove something toxic from your environment, you make space for something better to grow in its place. That's not selfish. That's self-respect. And self-respect is the foundation of every great change you will ever make. So take a hard look around you. Ask yourself, does this space bring out the best in me? Do these conversations fuel my goals or drain them? Do these people want to see me win? Or do they feel more comfortable when I'm playing small? If the answer doesn't feel good, that's your sign. Here's the bottom line. You can't control everything that comes into your life, but you can absolutely control what you continue to allow. Protecting your environment isn't a luxury. It's a necessity, because your goals are fragile in the beginning. Your confidence is still growing roots. And if you don't guard that growth, the wrong environment will choke it out before it has a chance to bloom. It's not about building walls. It's about building gates. And you get to decide who and what gets through. That's the power you have. Use it. Listen to me. Your life will never change until you stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop telling yourself you'll start when you feel ready, when you've got more time, when the stars magically align. That's a lie. Your brain tells you to keep you safe, and safe doesn't get you anywhere. You don't grow when you're comfortable. You grow when you do the thing you don't feel ready to do. Every single person you admire didn't wait until they felt confident. They acted while they were scared. They spoke up while their voice shook. They took the risk before they had a perfect plan. That's the difference. The people who get what they want aren't fearless. They just refuse to let fear make the decision for them. Your brain is wired to avoid discomfort. It's trying to protect you from failure, from embarrassment, from rejection. But here's the truth. That protection is keeping you trapped. You're not failing because you're not capable. You're failing because you keep choosing safety over growth. And you know it. You've had that idea in your head for months, maybe years. You've daydreamed about it. You've told yourself, someday I'll do it, but someday is code for never. And you don't have forever. Time is moving whether you are. One day you're going to wake up and realize the window has closed. Not because life conspired against you, but because you kept telling yourself you had more time. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for confidence. Confidence is not a prerequisite,
Yes.
it's a byproduct. It comes from doing the thing.
Yes.
You take action first.
Yes.
You build confidence.
Yes.
And if you keep waiting for confidence
Yes.
before you start,
Yes.
you will wait your entire life.
Yes.
Here's the trick. You don't have it all figured out.
Yes.
You just need to take the next step,
Step.
not the 10-year plan, not that the final goal, just the next step that's right in front of you. That's how momentum works. You move,
Yes.
and the path reveals itself as you go, but you'll never
Yes.
see it standing still.
Yes.
And yeah, it's going to be messy. You're going to screw up. You're going to look foolish sometimes.
Yes.
But so, the people who judge you are the ones too afraid to try themselves.
Yes.
And the people who matter,
Yes.
they'll respect you for having the guts to go for it.
Yes.
You've got to get to a point where staying the same
Yes.
is scarier than taking the leap, where the thought of looking back with regret
Yes.
is more painful than the thought of failing
Yes.
in public. Because failure you can learn from.
Yes.
Regret, that stays.
Yes.
It eats at you. And the only cure for it
Yes.
is action right now, not later. So here's what you do. The moment you feel yourself hesitating, count backward. 5,
Yes.
4, 3, 2, 1, and
Yes.
make the call, send the message,
Yes.
sign up for the class, book the flight, take the first step before your brain talks you.
Yes.
That's how you break the cycle.
Yes.
That's how you start
Yes.
rewiring your
Yes.
to act in the face of fear.
Yes.
Instead of hiding from it,
Yes.
your life changes in the moment.
Yes.
You decide it's no longer acceptable to stay where you are. That's it.
Yes.
One decision, one step,
Yes.
and then another, and another.
Yes.
And before you know it,
Yes.
you're living the life you
Yes.
once thought was impossible.
Yes.
Not because the fear
Yes.
went away, but because you stopped letting it.
Yes.
You can't keep sitting around wishing your life was different
Yes.
and then doing the exact same things
Yes.
every single day.
Yes.
That's not how change works.
Yes.
You can't talk your way
Yes.
into
Yes.
it. And I'm going to be real with you.
Yes.
It's not, and I'm going to be real with you.
Yes.
It's not style. It's nipple that change feels like resistance.
Yes.
It feels like you're
Yes.
fumbling in the dark.
Yes.
It's the dark, but that's the sign you're moving in the right direction. Most people get stuck because they think they need.
Yes.
Motivation is a myth. Motivation is a myth.
Yes.
Motivation shows up
Yes.
after you start,
Yes.
not before.
Yes.
If you're waiting to feel motivated, you'll be waiting for
Yes.
the people who win aren't more motivated.
Yes.
They're
Yes.
They move when they don't feel like it. They show up when they'd rather.
Yes.
And because they do, momentum builds
Yes.
and motivation fills.
Yes.
You've got to train yourself to take action in spite of your emotions.
Yes.
Fear,
Yes.
take action. Doubt, take action.
Yes.
Overthinking,
Yes.
take action. The longer you sit there analyzing, the louder the excuses get.
Yes.
And those excuses are convincing. They sound reasonable, but they're not. They're a trap. Right now you might be telling yourself,
Yes.
I'll start
Yes.
next week when things calm down,
Yes.
or I'll try when I have more.
Yes.
That's just fear,
Yes.
dressed up in polite language. There's no perfect time.
Yes.
There's only now. And every time you delay, you teach
Yes.
yourself the habit of avoidance. That's how people waste years without realizing it, by stringing together a lifetime of I'll start.
Yes.
You want a different life? Start
Yes.
Start making different choices.
Yes.
Stop scrolling
Yes.
and stop talking about your dreams. And start
Yes.
putting in the reps. You don't need to over
Yes.
everything overnight. You just need to do one thing
Yes.
today that moves you forward,
Yes.
and then another
Yes.
tomorrow.
Yes.
That's how transformation actually happens. Not with some grand gesture,
Yes.
but with a chain of small, consistent actions that compound over time.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Kid yourself.
this isn't about waiting
Yes.
until you're ready. Ready is a feeling, and feelings
Yes.
you'll never
Yes.
never feel ready to change your life. That's why you start
Yes.
before you're
Yes.
you start when it's inconvenient. You start when you're scared. You start
Yes.
when it's messy. That's the secret no one tells you. Readiness is created through action,
Yes.
not before. Every time you push yourself to do something hard, you prove to your brain that you can handle more than it thinks you can. You're literally building evidence that you're capable. That's how confidence is born, by keeping proof, not by reading more quotes, not by waiting for, but by doing the thing you keep saying you're going to do. And and yeah, you're going to fail some. Good. That means you're trying. Failure is feedback, not a verdict. It's a stepping stone, not a wall. Every time something doesn't work, you're getting closer to what will. But you only get that clarity by moving, not by sitting there wondering. If you want to know what your life will look like in 5 years, look at your habits today. If you keep doing what you're doing, if that excites you, if it terrifies you, good. Let that terror be the push you need. You need to start. Count it down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And move. That's it. No drama. No waiting for lightning bolts. Just a decision. You don't change. You don't change. You don't change. Eat the wool. In self-doubt doesn't just whisper in your ear. Sometimes it screams so loud
Id your downs out every good thing you've ever done.
And the worst part, it always shows up when you're about to take a leap forward. That's why this final step is about turning self-doubt into not by pretending it is, not by faking confidence, but by facing it head on, deciding you're not going to let it stop you. Here's the truth. Self-doubt isn't a sign you're it's proof you're pushing into new territory. You only doubt yourself when you're that means you're in the right place, even if it feels terrifying. The trick is not to wait for the trick is not to wait for the feeling, because if you do, you'll be waiting forever. You have to move while it's there. That's the only way you shrink it. I always say you don't have to feel it. You just have to move forward anyway. Action is the antidote. Every single small step you take when you don't feel like you're enough builds evidence that you can. That's how confidence is built, not through thoughts, but through proof. So the next time self-doubt pops up, instead of asking,
What if I fail?
ask, what if I don't?
If I don't even try?
That question changes everything. It snaps you out of fear and into possibility. Because failure, that's just feedback, not trial. That's a guaranteed regret. Stop treating self-doubt like a stop sign. It's actually a green light that says, you're on the edge of something important. Keep going. And the more you push through those moments, the quieter that voice becomes. One day you'll look back and realize the person who doubted themselves was the same person who built a life that was the same person who built a life they're proud of.